Hello, friends.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, last time we were together, we spoke about opening our baggage. So, shall we? Shall we keep opening them and see what's inside?
We touched the control issue from the wife. We traced the need of for the husband to learn how to love, for the wife to learn how to respect,
Because it's not natural.
and the fact that we came into this marriage with different expectations. Let's look at another one, another thing that we can find in the baggage.
Exactly.
You know, we come from different family of origins.
Yes.
I'm from a Spanish background.
I'm
Very
from
common-
French background.
And we were raised in a very different setting, very
Absolutely.
different situation, and we don't realize it when we get married. We think that he will think exactly the same way as I do, and
And sometimes we don't put the same concepts behind the same word, even if we come from the same culture.
yes. So it's even more difficult when you are cross-cultural, but
Mm-hmm.
even if you come from the same culture, you speak the same language, words don't mean the same thing.
Exactly.
For example, in my family, men don't do anything in the house. My brother would come and sit and eat, and we would have to, clean the
Serve him.
table and serve him. This is from a Spanish background. That's what they do around the Mediterranean Sea.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if I come into very rebellious again that into my marriage, thinking that Eric has to come from a different background, so he will do differently and be willing to work, but let's say that his mom raised him the same way, not having him do anything, we could clash right there.
Well, especially about who does the chores and who does the cleaning and the cooking, etc. We all know that in a marriage that could become ugly at one point. Yeah.
So we could have tension just because we don't see life as married couple the same way, because our parents were
Maybe,
functioning
guys, you were
differently.
expecting that your wife would become a second mom, taking care of your socks, your laundry, and then you would have nothing to do.
Coming back from
Yeah.
work and just putting your
Just
feet on the table.
turning on the TV and enjoying yourself.
So it's a lot of work to think about that and start creating your own identity.
Yes.
As husband and wife, you leave your family and you build a new one. So it's where you can put some effort in creating your own identity.
Absolutely.
Because we come from different planets, and we don't want this to affect our relationship. We want
Absolutely.
to spend time think about that.
So let me give you an example of something that can really be a problem in a relationship.
Especially because of those different background that we come with.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story. My sister every year makes preserves from fruits, and she's very good at it. And so the whole family helps her, when she's into that work. And I remember very vividly one year she was doing preserves from cherries, and a beautiful red color from the cherries. And I remember there was a sticker on one jar that was saying apricots. And it was funny because the cherries were inside and a very beautiful red, but then the sticker was saying apricots. What does that mean? It means that sometimes we put a label on our spouse, and no matter what and how much our spouse works on changing something, changing a behavior, it seems that once we've put a sticker on our spouse, defining him or her like, okay, you're this or you're that, even if we changed through the years, it seems that the sticker remains the same. Exactly like this apricot sticker was not telling the truth about what was inside the jar, so we had to remove it actually and change it and put the right one.
So let's say, for example, that Eric's mom didn't train Eric to make sure that supper was ready, and she would do it for him. I could label my husband as lazy,
Yeah.
and I could see him to that. I could, every time, he would do something that would make me upset, think he's so lazy when it comes from his background and just the worldview he had when he was growing up.
And so once we put a sticker on our spouse, we kind of recreate our spouse with our own criterias. And that's very dangerous because our spouse, no matter how much he or she works on being a different person and making efforts, it seems that we put him or her in a jail or in a box, and it's very difficult to escape from this box and actually being seen differently.
So if I'm fighting against, if I feel like Eric is labeling me as controlling, I'm fighting the curse and I'm fighting this image that Eric puts on me. It makes the fight very difficult.
And in fact, only one person has the right to create us and say exactly who we are. This person is God. So every time we put a sticker on our spouse saying, you are this, we actually put ourselves like a creator and we redefine our spouse according to our criteria and standards. And this is wrong because it's very difficult after for our spouse to make us change our point of view. So we need to be ready to give up those labels that we've put on our spouse.
This is not fair because we don't stay the same. You know, when you walk together in this relationship, we are growing, we are learning, we are improving.
We are work in progress.
Work in progress, that's what we are. And God is helping us. So I cannot get stuck into the controlling situation or for Eric into the lazy. Those are just examples. I'm sure you will find your own, but we cannot get stuck in that because if we are, it's dragging us in the past.
And we all know that maybe we were this or that years ago, but then we've changed. And I wouldn't like to have only one adjective defining who I am. We know we're much more than that.
So what do we do with those labels?
So we need to give them to God and be ready to surrender them to our God. Yeah.
Take some time for yourself to try to think about the labels you feel your husband is putting on you.
Yeah.
It's what do I feel like I have on my front head? Then write them down.
So again, we're going to give you some questions, helping you to process this and to talk about it together. And again, don't go into a fight over these. Don't challenge don't challenge your spouse. If your spouse says, "I feel like I have this label on my forehead that you put," don't challenge it. Don't say, "Oh, well, no, that's not what I meant." Just accept it and just listen to your spouse.
First question: ask yourself what model of family do you come from, and explain it to your spouse. Describe what it was like for you to grow up, the interaction with your parents and you. What model was you following when you were growing up?
So another question is, what are the labels that my spouse put on me?
Make a list.
Make a list, that's very important. And then read them together. Again, don't try to challenge them or defend anything, but just let your spouse tell you.
And if I tell Eric that I feel he puts the controlling label on my front head, maybe what would help me if he tells me the truth and speak a blessing on me. I would do the same for him. I would remove the lazy sticker and I would say, no, I know you're a hard worker and you are taking care of our family and you're a wonderful husband. I would remove this label and speak a blessing. I bless you as my husband and I'm so thankful for you to God.
So an idea is to, once you've met those lists and then you explain them to your spouse, then why don't you burn them and just keep the list of blessings that you've pronounced on each other.
And next time you will catch yourself with this thought about your husband, just stop it and remember the blessing he or she is for you from God.
Yeah. So remember again to meditate Ephesians 5:33. I'd like to read it again for you. So again I say, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Through these labels removal, then that's exactly what we want to do.
If you are a single, take this time to think about your own model, from where you come from. Try to imagine how you would like your relationship when it's time to look like, and think about the wounds that you have from the past, so you can allow God to start working on your heart.
And a last verse to meditate for today is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17.
Thank you for spending this time with us. We pray that you will be able to open this baggage together so you can start seeing where you're at and seeing the hope that God has for you in the future.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.